Hiya folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor, and when last we left off, we've made it all the way to Kenting Rush, and we are quite a ways north now. How north? We're actually roughly on par with Yabban and Tirsog, and they're pretty northerly, though not as north as all these places that we're probably not going to right now. At least I hope we're not going to them right now, otherwise going back to Cavill Keep to go and accuse the Count if we have to will be a very long trek. Now, I remembered in between videos that we have to check out wells. It was an unusual well. James ran his hands across the wooden crank, tried to turn it, but discovered it was jammed. Reaching down to get a better grip, his fingers scraped against something hard and smooth. It was a small round lock. I believe I'm familiar with this kind of lock. In days past, some men required their ladies to wear locked undergarments as an assurance of chastity while they were away. As the story goes, the men gave the keys to these undergarments to none but their closest and most trusted friends. Naturally, the ladies did everything in their power to convince the friends to use their key to remove the uncomfortable things, and many illicit romances were said to have developed. The lock was always replaced before the husband returned home, but after unlocking the device, the key was often left with a friend for the next time the husband went away. In the meantime, the secret lovers would sometimes find an abandoned well, put on one of these locks, and use the key to hide love notes. Shall we try to open it? Sure. James checked their keys. Finding a virtue key, he moved to the well, found the lock and inserted the small key, turning it gently. The lock was a bit rusty, but after a few seconds he was able to twist the key in the lock, producing a satisfying click. Good thing we got some virtue keys, from previous quests. The handle now unlocked, he cranked it in a clockwise motion, and after about a dozen turns the dry bucket emerged from the well. Searching inside, they found something small and covered with dirt and leaves. It was a knight's piece. That is something we want. Someone had paid a great deal to have the chess piece made. The marbled soapstone from which it had been carved was of a type available only from a hellish region within Great Kesh known as the Jalpur Desert, an area also renowned for its Jadaji, a Keshian brotherhood of thief assassins. We just heard from Navon Du Sandau about Kesh. Interesting. Also, we've been to these two houses. We should go around this little hill and check out this house here. See what this place is all about. Also, I'm going to save now that I have that knight's piece, because we're probably about to do a fair bit of backtracking to go and check out the waterfall. They were greeted at the door by a very tired-looking woman. "Good day, travellers. How can I be of service to you?" "What can you tell us of Kenting Rush? We are curious about this place in which you live," James said kindly.
"Well, sirs, it is a nice enough place, though lately there have been some shady-looking characters hanging around by the well." She paused for a moment, then pointed to a nearby field. "My husband is out harvesting grain. He works over there. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, yes, be very careful of the sorcerer who lives down the road. He has a habit of tricking people out of their money. Asks them 3 questions. The first 2 are very simple, but no one has ever answered the last one correctly."
They thanked the woman for her time, and were on their way. The sorcerer down the road. James rapped on the tavern door. "Ah! We found the tavern. Right. It is our opportunity to get you some barding experience. Because we need to get you that 100% barding. We must get you that 100% barding. And this is when we can never get you that 100% barding. Right. Let's go in. The Dagger and Star Tavern. Despite the fact that light was dim and pooled only in shallow corners, the mood within seemed cheerful as the tavern keeper animatedly related tales of mischief, reaping gales of laughter from people who'd most likely heard the story dozens of times. Barding time! Owen played. His fingers slid easily over the lute's fingerboard as he moved between chords of This Kingdom Mine, the notes filling him up, as well as guiding him forward. Quietly, he began to sing the refrain. "This kingdom mine, with my blood I've paid, to guard against all who oppose her." That was beautiful. 71 sovereigns. Let's have a chat with people. You've come to the end of your funds, of course. And that guy just wants to drink. And that guy doesn't want to talk either, so nothing of interest here at all today. That's fine. Let's talk to you. Owen rapped on the door with the back of his hand. "Coming! Hang on, just a second," said a mirthful voice inside the house. "Okay, here I am." The door opened wide, and a large bearded man joined them in front of the house. Owen cleared his throat, then said, "We'd like to talk with you if you could spare a moment of your time." Now the large man was eyeing Gorath suspiciously. "Wait a minute," he said, a broad grin erupting on his face like a volcano. "Leroux hired you, didn't he?" The man rocked back with laughter. "Oh, this is going to be the best joke yet!" Still laughing, he retreated into his house, refusing to answer any more questions. They were greeted warmly after a friendly chat and a swig of ale. Okay, so that's just a generic thing here. Right. No store that I can see. That's the well. We've gone to that house. We've gone to that house. There's this house here. Oh, abandoned. What about this house? Abandoned, with a tiny amount of money. That really is a tiny amount of money. James was about to knock on the door when suddenly he straightened, and with a broad smile on his face jumped back to survey the entire house. "I know this place. I stayed in this house a year ago while journeying to Northwarden to see a friend. There was a beautiful young lady named Celindra living here. We got kind of friendly over supper, and in the middle of the night she snuck into my room." He knocked on the door, beaming with anticipation. A moment later, a beautiful young woman answered. "Yes, can I—" "James?" A smile of recognition crossed her lips, but it was quickly replaced with an expression of great concern. "I am—" Before she could finish her sentence, she was brushed aside by two rather large hands, one of which curled into a rather large fist and hit James rather hard in the face. When his vision had cleared sufficiently, the woman stood over him. "I'd like you to meet my husband. I've told him all about you." "Oh, well, that didn't end that well for you. Also, there are more houses here. There are so many more houses in Kenting Rush. There's also a store. Jewels, keys, rings. Well, this is a place that we can sell some gems, because we have them. 105 seems good. What else can we sell? We have a spare ruby and a spare emerald. 315 for that, sure. 45 and 78. 332, marvellous. We can actually sell these rings. Can we sell this? No, you have no use for that. What do you have? Nothing I really especially want, though there is the Amulet of the Upright Man here that we could buy for you. I'm going to keep this store in mind as we carry on. And by carry on, I mean there's a lot of stuff here. Like, there's so many places here. Let's go further north and check out this building. The smell of fresh bread filled the air as James knocked on the door. It made his stomach grumble hungrily. After a short wait, they were greeted by a short man with a big belly. He had flour on the side of his face and the bridge of his nose, which he wiped at with the back of his hand as he spoke. "Yes? What can we do for you?" he asked. James noticed a woman inside the house. She too was covered in flour. "We don't mean to interrupt," he said, "but we smelled the bread and thought we might come by. Sorry, we have an exclusive arrangement with Tabar, the candlemaker's grin. If you want something to eat, you'll have to go there. It's just down the road, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding it. Now we really have to get back to work." Is there a second tavern here? Pigeons cooed inside the house. Lots of them. James waited patiently for someone to answer his knock. After several seconds, a freckle-faced boy came to the door and showed them inside. A pleasant-looking man stood near a large wire-lined cage that seemed to take almost the entire room. It was alive with pigeons, and the man was stroking a small one, trying to coax it back inside. "Come on now," he said gently. "Come on, get in there." The bird refused to cooperate.
James cleared his throat, causing the man to look up with surprise. The bird flew out of his hand and began to circle near the ceiling. Blast it! These birds are no better than kids. Won't do a darned thing you tell 'em to. In the corner, the young boy smiled. I hear talk of a magic spell called Thy Master's Will that is supposed to command flying beasts, but I think it's more for wyverns than anything else. You need one of their eggs, too, I guess. He wiped his hands on a towel and had the young boy fetch them some fresh water. After a brief conversation, they left. Interesting that information was told to us. Also, I think that is the end of Kenting Rush. And if this is the wizard's home, we're going to save. James knocked on my door. Nope, nobody here. Where is this sorcerer supposed to be? Here, maybe? No one answered. James persistent knocking. Nobody there. Right. No one's lived here for some time. And another tavern. The Candlemaker's Grin. Okay, somewhere around here is this wizard. And I want to find this wizard. But first, barding! Owen played. His fingers slid easily over the lute's fingerboard as he moved between chords of This Kingdom Mine, the notes filling him up as well as guiding him forward. Quietly, he began to sing the refrain. This kingdom mine, with my blood I've paid, to guard against all who oppose her. That was beautiful. 108 sovereigns! Hooray! Owen coughed. You should see a priest about that, the woman said. How long have you been afflicted with it? Only just now. I have a small problem with smoke, Owen replied, gesturing to the corner of the tavern where a wood fire was burning in the hearth. I doubt the brothers of Sung would be much interested. She nodded, staring down into the dregs of her wine cup. Unless you've a mortal wound or a plague, or you've been stupid enough to fall prey to poison, I've never found the priest so much use other than to babble on about the trivial. You've come to the end of your funds. That's the bar, that's the innkeep, and then there's you! And nothing there. Where is this? Did it happen? It happened! Yay! Finally, I am your equal, Owen. We will do battle one day, with sword, with wits, and with music, and I will prevail in all instances. Sure you will. You doubt me, but I am unequaled. Okay, where is this where the wizard is? Because there is a house all the way over here and a barn. Let us check the barn. James pushed open the door of the wooden barn. Inside he found stalls containing the standard mixture of animals and very small things that I do not want. Okay, is this where the wizard lives? Because otherwise I have no idea where this wizard lives. James knocked on the door. No one about. What if we wait a little while? Nope, no one about. Okay, apparently there is a wizard somewhere. I just don't know where they are. Let's see if I can figure this out. There's only one place I haven't really checked, and I'm going to go there. I consulted a map of Kenting Rush, and there is one location that I don't think I've been to, and it is down here. Oh, there he is again. I'd not expected to see you three again for quite some time. How can Navon Du Sandau be of assistance to you? You can't be. You can't be. So, that is a place I've already been to. There's this place here. The familiar face met them at the door. Good to see you again, sirs. I'm afraid I haven't had the time to talk right now, but I'll be glad to fill your water pouches, since someone's been tampering with the local well and all. They thanked her for her generosity, then left. Is it this building? I don't think I've been in this building. Let's have a look. Gorath was about to knock, but his knuckles touched nothing save air as the door swung out of his reach. Accepting the mysterious invitation, they entered the dwelling slowly. There were shelves on every wall and books on every shelf. Owen's eyes fell upon a wooden staff in the corner of the room. Ah, you've already found my lightning staff. You like it, I can tell. The voice came from a man sitting on a chair in one corner of the room. The table in front of him was stacked with papers, making his huddled form hard to see. I am Shorel. Prove your worthiness to me, and I will give it to you. What kind of game are you playing? Gorath demanded. His eyes little more than slits, the magician replied slowly, Not a game. He turned his stare at Owen. If you can answer 3 questions, I will give you my staff. But fail this little test, and I shall extract a payment in gold. Care to try your luck? Sure. Excellent, said the sorcerer. Come, sit before me, and we shall begin. Owen did as he was instructed, much to the chagrin of Gorath, who sat down quietly nearby, one hand placed strategically on the handle of his sword. The first question, Owen, is this. Our great and mighty pug claims to know magic of the greater path, and magic of the lesser path. Is this truly possible? Sure. Very good, my friend, Shorel muttered. You have but 2 questions remaining. He shifted in his chair, shuffled through some papers on his desk, then continued. Dragon lords once ruled this planet. One of these, Valheru, Draken Korin, called himself Lord of the Eagles. Do I tell the truth of this? No? You have answered correctly once again, said the sorcerer. His smile turned icy. Now only 1 question remains. Answer it correctly, and you shall have my staff. Gorath looked at the magician coldly, not liking the evil fire that seemed to be erupting on his face. Suddenly, Owen began to shout, My eyes! What have you done to my eyes, you black demon? I can't see! In an instant, Gorath sprang to his feet, drawing his sword. Wait! I haven't done anything to your eyes, sputtered the startled Shorel. Can't you see me? He shouted, waving his hands in the air wildly. Owen smiled broadly. I'm sorry, my mistake. Yes, I could see you just fine. He winked at the sorcerer. Foolish me. I thought your last question was going to be hard, perhaps even impossible to answer. Without waiting for a response, he grabbed the lightning staff and began to head for the door. Come on, he shouted over his shoulder. We better leave. Now! Oh, that was clever! That was clever! He made it so that the question was something that he could answer. I like that. That man is mad, but guess what? We have a lightning staff. Made of light birch, the staff would be easy to swing should the need arise. Doubtless it had been put to magical uses as well. Several lightning sigils were burned along its wavering length, the points of their bolts originating from a small crystal globe affixed to the knobby head of the staff. 20 plus skill, 10 plus skill compared to... Whoa, that is just better in general, but that is amazing! Right, we need to make some room, because otherwise you won't be able to carry this thing. So you do that. And this. Swap these round. And then I need you to do this. Our inventory is just pretty full, which is fine. But oh my, did I not anticipate that. That was very clever, Owen. James hesitated. We've been here before, he said. I don't see what purpose will be served from us visiting this place again. So we just saved a huge amount of money, because we could have bought one of those staffs in Sarth. But we didn't, did we? No, we didn't, and now we have it. Also, we have a knight's piece, so we could go back to the waterfall and see what we can do there. And we are going to do that next time. For when we come back, folks, we have an inventory full of stuff to sell and a clue. The knight's piece. Fingers crossed, this will lead us to somewhere we need to be. I highly hope it will. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.